Landry Shamet and Malcolm Brogdon, both signed by the New York Knicks, are probably poised for one of the more interesting camp battles for this upcoming season for the New York Knicks. Hit that rock. Before we get started, make sure to hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit the dark notification bell to get each and every notification for each and every video I put out. There's your boy G. Malaysia Knicks. Let's get it. So on Thursday, the New York Knicks re-signed Landry Shamet to the veterans minimum to essentially fill out at the time the final roster spot for the 2025-2026 season for the New York Knicks. This guy, Landry Shamet, he's been with the Knicks for the past two seasons. The past season. I apologize for that. He played with Washington before that. And honestly, Landry Shamet put up some pedestrian numbers, 5.7 points a game. Couldn't shoot really couldn't shoot throughout the season. Now, he shot better as the season was coming to an end. Overall, shot 39% from the outside, 46% from the field. But as the season's end and then into the players where he really shined with his shooting ability. And then on Friday, today, the New York Knicks signed Malcolm Brogdon to a non-guaranteed contract. This is Malcolm Brogdon, last played for the Washington Wizards. This guy's been all over the place. Drafted by Milwaukee years ago. Played for the Celtics, played for Portland, played for Indiana. And then last year played for Washington, put up a decent 12.7 points a game, 43% from the field, but shot terribly from outside, 28.6% from the outside after shooting above 40% for the past two seasons with Portland and Boston. But Malcolm Brogdon, everybody knows his issues. He cannot stay healthy. This is a guy who was at one point a bona fide starter. He was a Rookie of the Year. But for the New York Knicks, if he can stay healthy, this is a guy who does offer the Knicks some ability they haven't had in years, and that's a guard who can score off the bench. Since Derrick Rose left the Knicks, Jalen Brunson really has not had any cover in terms of adequate, consistent guard play that can cover for him when he needs to sit and take a breather. That's why, people say Jalen Brunson's turned into a ball hog, blah, blah. And, well, it's also because of design and how this team has just been set up since Derrick Rose left the team. And so Malcolm Brogdon definitely provides a very interesting opportunity for the Knicks. Somebody could spell Jalen Brunson, but again, not just spell Jalen Brunson, who could shoot from the outside, in other times outside of last season. A guy could attack, who could be a nuisance. I remember some games where we had to battle against Malcolm Brogdon when he was with Indiana, when he was even with Boston. So Malcolm Brogdon, if healthy, provide the Knicks a major weapon. Landry Shamet, on the other hand, provides the Knicks something a little bit different in the sense of that he's a 3-and-D guy. And even though his three-point shooting until the end of last season really did not shine, this is a guy still defensively. He's going to ball out. He's going to give it his all. I think it seems like he's a great locker room guy. I'm not in there, but it seems from what it's like, he just seems like a glue guy. Guys seem to like him. He gives us all on defense, and that's what you need. Now, it'll be interesting to see how exactly Mike Brown looks at this. Now, obviously, going into training camp and then preseason games, things are gonna kind of flesh out. But it'd be interesting to see how Mike Brown utilizes certain rotations to kind of get the best out of two of those guys. Now, if Landry Shamet comes in and just starts bombing threes and fits his role as a 3-and-D guy to a T, maybe it puts a little bit, it probably puts him in the winning position versus Brogdon, just because Brogdon's just never truly healthy, right? So let's even see. But if Brogdon comes in and he's able to provide that value from the backup point guard position, he's a guy you just have to kind of spell Brunson. Again, Mike Brown is looking to get the ball out of Brunson's hands a little bit more, and this definitely helps out. Then we'll see, right? I don't think either of those guys kind of fit the Malik Monk role per se. Malik Monk is more of like a explosive combo guard off the bench. And granted, you could say Malcolm Brown is more of a combo guard as well too, but I still see him in a sense of he's not explosive like that. He's just a heady veteran point guard. Neither of those guys really fit that Malik Monk role. So it'll be interesting to see how Mike Brown utilizes both those guys within his, largely ball movement based offense. Now, interesting thing that, and salute to Ian Begley for pointing this out. I want to take the credit. Ian Begley pointed out that neither of these guys can actually stay on the roster. Obviously, Landry Shamet these guys both cannot stay on the roster at the same time, right? So Landry Shamet took the last roster spot. Malcolm Brogdon coming with a non-guarantee. Now, granted, the suits of Ian Begley for pointing this out, the Knicks can sign one of their rookies to a rookie contract and still be under the second apron. But to stay on the second apron, they got to either keep Landry Shamet or Malcolm Brogdon, or they have to cut somebody else down the line. Now, I don't think guys like Kolek, I just don't see it yet. I still think there's a lot of potential. I still think there's a lot of hope that they see with Kolek. The front office made a significant investment in Kolek, right? Being as the highest paid in terms of guaranteed money for a second rounder. But the cuts are going to have to come from somewhere. Huck Purdy is just way too valuable. I still think they see some value in Pacome. So is it going to come down possibly to these two guys, right? Because you just can't keep both those guys and stay under the second apron, which the Knicks can try to do. Your man Brock Allah's like, yo, bro, like, I'm a money guy. I'm here for the money. I ain't doing this. I ain't gonna go over second apron for either of these guys, right? So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But the Knicks are trying to stay prudent. They still don't feel they're the second apron team. I don't think Malcolm Brogdon, either of these guys, should be pushing them into that level yet. But it'll be fun to see these battles in camp, how rotations are set to kind of bring out the best of both these guys. I hope both these guys, especially Brogdon stays healthy. But good signings by the Knicks, good depth pieces, because, we had a guy in freaking Ben Simmons who didn't want to come to the Knicks. Now, granted, let me say something about Ben Simmons real quick before I close out. Having a herniated disc is no joke. I got a herniated disc. I wake up every day, unless I do proper exercises and whatnot. If I even sleep the wrong way a little bit, if I work out too much the day before, whatever, I'm in pain, right? Even when I play ball, I'm in pain. I ain't a basketball player and NBA player like these guys, right? I can hardly make layups. But anyway, I can understand you trying to retire and get out and just be like, look, I'm done with it. But knowing Ben Simmons and how he's carried his career, it's hard for me to believe that a huge chunk of that comes down to he doesn't love the game enough. Again, herniated disc are no joke. Will not sit up here and marginalize that. But this is a guy whose agent left him after he denied the Knicks, given that I believe the Knicks may have been the only team to offer him a contract. And he's like, nah, I'm good. What agent would stay there? It's like, dude, do you want to play basketball? Why am I here? Right? You're not doing anything else. Right? And since this guy got drafted to the league, the whole idea is that he just doesn't love the game of basketball like that. He likes what it provides him, just doesn't love it. So I'm happy. I'm a little disappointed that the Knicks actually offered him a contract, because I don't think Ben Simmons is that guy. He doesn't look to score to the basket anymore after that whole fiasco in Philadelphia. I think he has the yips. I think he has the Chuck Knobloch effect in his head now. He's second guessing. He's forgetting how to play basketball. He's never learned how to shoot, which would have probably helped offset some of the pressure he had from not taking that layup against Trae Young. But I'm good that the Knicks are not, that Ben Simmons is not here. I don't think you need that in the locker room. Not say he's poisonous, but he's not a plus to the locker room. He's not a guy who's going to invigorate people. He's not going to push people. He's not seen as that type of veteran. He's seen as a guy who's only out for him. So good on the Knicks, or let them say lucky on the Knicks for not bringing Ben Simmons. But let me know what you guys think. Knicks signing Landry Shamet, Knicks signing Malcolm Brogdon. Who would you guys rather have on the team between those two, or who would you cut? One of these rookies, obviously not going to cut one of the big money guys most likely, but one of the rookies. Who are you guys moving on to carry both these guys? Let me know in the comments. Your boy Gmo Legion Knicks. I appreciate you. Peace, Lou. God bless. I'll catch you guys on the next one.